In 1995, a man with no family spends all his money to join a bold cryogenic experiment, hoping to wake up in a better future. But when the project suddenly runs out of funds, the lab is closed, the equipment is boxed up, and he is accidentally left behind in a sealed cryo capsule, forgotten in a government warehouse for 30 years. And the present day, a woman working in that same warehouse stumbles upon the strange capsule and unknowingly triggers its release. The man opens his eyes in a world that has changed completely, with no one left who remembers his name. Together, the two strangers begin to uncover what really happened to the experiment, the truth behind the lost patents, and the powerful interests that prefer him to stay silent. As they fight for his rights and his place in this new world, their lives become deeply connected, and an unexpected bond starts to grow between a man out of time and the woman who accidentally brought him back. Chapter 1. The Price of a Dream. In 1995, I was 32 years old and had nothing left to lose, and no parents. No brothers or sisters. No one waiting for me at home. Just an aging apartment, a stack of unpaid bills, and a head full of ideas that nobody wanted to fund. So when I stood in that underground lab, looking at the smooth silver curve of the cryogenic capsule, I felt something I had not felt in a long time: hope. "Are you sure about this, Daniel?" the lead scientist asked me. His name was Dr. Keller, and his tired eyes studied me over thin glasses. "I am," I said, sliding the last bundle of cash across the metal desk. Every dollar I had ever saved. My past and my future, in one reckless gesture. The contract was thick, full of dense language, but I knew the words that mattered. In case of success, I held the patents with Keller. Half of the rights. Half of the future. I would sleep through time and wake up when the world was ready for my dream. Keller's hand shook mine. The ink on the signatures was still wet when a technician called, "We're ready." The lab smelled like disinfectant and metal. Bulky computers hummed, green numbers crawling across black screens. The capsule waited in the center like a silver coffin. I lay down inside. The metal felt cold through the thin fabric of the hospital gown. Sensors were taped to my chest and arms. Wires ran from my body to machines that beeped in a steady rhythm. "This will feel like drifting off," Keller said softly. "When you wake up, it will be a new world." A new world. A better one, I told myself. One where I was not alone. One where my work mattered. The lid lowered. My breath fogged the glass for a second before the system began to cool the chamber. White vapor curled around my face. My heartbeat echoed in my ears, slower, slower. The last thing I remember was Keller's blurred shape above me, giving a thumbs up. Then everything went dark and silent, like falling into the deepest part of the ocean. Chapter 2. Forgotten in the dark. I did not know when the money ran out. I did not hear the angry calls from investors, or the doors slamming as people quit, or the quiet way Keller locked his office for the last time. My mind was frozen in that last moment of hope. But the world around me did not stop. A month after I went under, the dream began to collapse. The project burned through its funding. Promises failed. Support disappeared. The lab was ordered to shut down. Workers came in with packing lists and forklifts. They unplugged machines, boxed up records, and rolled heavy equipment out through back doors. "Just tag everything," a manager barked. "It's all going to central storage." They rolled my capsule along a concrete hallway, the wheels rattling under me. My body did not move. My mind did not wake. To them, I was a sealed unit, another piece of equipment with a serial number. Someone slapped a barcode on the side, "Experimental Cryogenic Unit, Archive." They loaded me into a truck with wooden crates and metal cabinets. The back doors slammed. Darkness again. I did not know when they placed me deep in the corner of a government warehouse. I did not know when the inventory sheet went missing, or when some board clerk decided the whole project was dead and not worth the trouble. Years passed over me like thin layers of dust. Outside, people fell in love, had children, built careers, got old. Technology leaped forward. Music changed. Cities rose higher. Inside the capsule, I did not move. I did not dream. I was a number on a forgotten shelf, a life paused between one breath and the next. The world moved on, and I stayed in the dark. Chapter 3. 30 years later. If you had asked me, I would have said the next second after the darkness would be the future I had imagined. But the story of my return begins with someone else. Her name was Elena. She was 40 years old, worked for a government logistics contractor, and spent most of her days walking long aisles of a storage facility, scanning barcodes. Not the life she had dreamed of, but it paid the rent and kept her mind busy, and that day, she was working a forgotten section of the warehouse, where dust lay thick and the lights flickered. Her scanner beeped as she passed crate after crate. Then it went silent. "No record found," the little screen said. She frowned. In front of her stood a strange object under a dirty plastic sheet. Not a crate. Not a cabinet. Something else. She pulled the sheet back. Underneath, the capsule gleamed softly, still holding a ghost of its old silver shine. A faint blue LED pulsed on the side, against all odds. "What are you?" she whispered. There was a small control panel, old but still powered. The labels were faded. Her scanner could not read the barcode. Elena was careful. She always followed rules. But something about the capsule felt different, important. She wiped dust from the buttons, trying to read the text. One of her fingers brushed a recessed switch marked "Manual Override." The button clicked. Inside my world of black silence, something stirred. Circuits that had slept for 30 years woke up. A low hum began to rise underneath me. Cooling levels shifted. Controls recalibrated. A soft warmth touched my skin for the first time in decades. Warning lights flickered to life on the panel. The LED pulsed faster. Elena stepped back, eyes wide. The capsule hissed as internal pressure adjusted. Frost formed on the edges of the lid, then began to melt. A thin cloud of cold vapor leaked from the seams and curled over the warehouse floor. She should have called her supervisor. Instead, she watched, frozen, as the machine she had touched began to open. Chapter 4. Waking in a New World. The first thing I felt was air. Not the still, frozen nothing of suspended life, but moving air, warm against my skin. My lungs pulled in a sharp breath on their own, like a machine restarting. My eyes snapped open. For a moment, the light was a white blur. Shapes swam into focus. A ceiling of metal beams. Tall shelves heavy with boxes. And a woman's face, framed by long brown hair, brown eyes wide with shock and concern. "Hey," she whispered. Her voice shook. "Can you hear me?" I tried to speak. My throat burned. Only a rough sound came out. "Water," she said quickly, and disappeared from my sight. Cold air licked at my legs and arms. I realized the lid above me was open. I could smell dust and oil and something old. My heart hammered against my ribs. She came back with a plastic bottle, fumbling with the cap. She slid an arm behind my shoulders, helping me sit up. My muscles trembled with effort. "Slowly," she said. "Here. Drink." The water felt like life pouring down my throat. I coughed, choked, drank again. Where am I?" My voice sounded wrong, like it was someone else's. "You're in government storage," she said. "Some kind of warehouse. I'm Elena." I looked around, trying to clear my head. The last thing I remembered was the clean, bright lab, the steady voice of Dr. Keller. This place was nothing like that. "How long?" My lips were stiff. "Was I out?" She hesitated. I saw the numbers on the ID badge pinned to her vest, the year, the date. "Today is August 14th, 2025, she said quietly. I stared at her. "No," I said. My heart pounded harder. "That's impossible. It was 1995. It should have been a few months, a year, maybe." She swallowed. "I think you've been in there for 30 years. The words crashed through me. 3 decades, locked in ice. Everyone I had known was gone. The world outside that warehouse door was not the one I had left. Elena must have seen the panic in my eyes, because she put a gentle hand on my arm. "Hey," she said softly. "Breathe. You're alive. You're here. We'll figure this out. I promise." Her touch was warm and steady. In that moment, in that huge empty warehouse, she was the only solid thing in my world. Chapter 5. Pieces of the Past. She found me some clothes from a lost and found box. The fabric felt strange, softer, the cuts different from what I remembered, but I was too numb to care. We sat in a small office near the loading dock. The computer on the desk was thinner than any monitor I had ever seen. The keyboard glowed. Start from the beginning, Elena said. Tell me everything. I told her about the experiment. About Keller, the patents, the promise of waking up when the world was ready. I told her how I had no one, how I had traded the rest of my life for a chance at a different one. She listened, elbows on the desk, chin resting on her hands. When I finished, she turned to the computer and began to type. I'll search for the project, she said. The internet was not the thing I had left. It was bigger, faster, endless. Names and dates and records appeared in seconds. There, she said, pointing at the screen. Cryogenesis Initiative, 1993 to 1996. Shut down due to funding. And she clicked. Here. Patents filed. Keller and Daniel Hart. My name. Seeing it on that glowing screen in a year I had never expected to see made something deep inside me twist. It says the patents were archived, she went on. No legal transfer after the shutdown. Your signature is still there. So they never canceled them? I asked. Not officially, she said. You're still listed as co-inventor and co-owner. But if you were missing, I understood. The world thought I had just vanished. The patents were sleeping with me. If the technology had been used, it would have been in the shadows. Why does this matter now? I asked, staring at the old scanned documents. Lena's eyes moved to the corner of the screen. An ad showed up, some medical startup boasting about next-generation cryopreservation and cold sleep travel for the future. Because, she said slowly, your crazy idea might be very valuable now. She dug deeper, opening news articles, company reports. Cryogenic research had taken small steps, hit legal walls, stopped short of what Keller and I had planned. But the idea was very much alive. And you are proof it works, she added, looking at me. You survived 30 years in that thing. That changes everything. I felt dizzy. I had gone to sleep with nothing. I had woken up with, what? Acclaim, power, a fight waiting to happen. First, we get you legal again, she said. ID, records, all of it. Then, we talk to a lawyer. Because if this is real, you have rights. Big ones. Why are you helping me? I asked quietly. Elena paused. For the first time, she looked a little unsure. Because I opened that capsule, she said. Because you were forgotten. And because, if this had happened to me, I would want someone on my side. She gave a small, shy smile. Besides, she added, I kind of want to see how this story ends. Chapter 6. Fighting for a Future. The next weeks were a blur of forms, questions, and cold waiting rooms. Elena took time off work to go with me to government offices. Without any living family, without records for the last 30 years, I was a problem no one wanted. But Elena did not give up. She spoke for me when I stumbled over my own story. She printed copies of the patents and laid them on desks. She looked bored clerks in the eye until they actually read the documents. Bit by bit, the system began to accept that I was not a ghost. I was Daniel Hart, born in 1963, legally alive, and suddenly very interesting. A lawyer named Mason agreed to see us after Elena sent him the patent files and a short summary of my unusual situation. He stared at me across his polished desk, tapping a pen. You understand, he said, if we push this, we will wake up a lot of people who would rather this stayed buried. What can they do? Elena asked. Argue he's not entitled to anything, Mason replied. Say the patents expired, or were abandoned. Or, he flipped through the pages. We prove he was incapacitated by their own negligence and that no proper closure happened. In that case, we have a very strong case. He turned to me. Mr. Hart, your successful cryogenic suspension is a scientific first. If we validate it in court, and if we can bring this technology back legally, we're looking at enormous value. For medicine. For space travel. For many things. I glanced at Elena. She watched me with quiet encouragement. What do you want to do? She asked. I thought of the years I had lost. The life I had frozen, trusting people who had packed me away like a broken machine. Then I thought of the capsule waking up, of Elena's hand on my arm, of the way her eyes lit up when she talked about the future. I want my life back, I said. And I want the work to mean something. Mason nodded slowly. Then we file, he said. The legal battle did not explode like in movies. It crawled. Letters. Replies. Old names resurfacing. A gray-haired Keller appeared on a video call, shock and guilt on his face when he saw me alive. I tried to find you, he said hoarsely. They told me everything had been destroyed. I failed you, Daniel. I felt anger rise, then fade. 30 years had already punished him more than I ever could. We can still make it right, I said. Help us. And he did. He confirmed the intent of our agreement, the fact that the capsule was never meant to be abandoned. His testimony carried weight. As months passed, the case drew attention. Reporters called it the man frozen in time. Strangers online argued whether I was a miracle or a legal headache. Through it all, Elena stayed beside me on long evenings. After meetings and documents, we would sit in her small apartment, sharing takeout. She showed me streaming services, video calls, everything I had missed. I told her about payphones, cassette tapes, and the world before everything went digital. First, we were two people from different times, just trying to bridge a gap of 30 years. But slowly, something warmer began to grow in the space between us. Chapter 7. Learning to live again. The city felt like a different planet. Screens everywhere. People walking with earbuds, talking to invisible others. Cars that hummed instead of roared. It should have overwhelmed me. Sometimes it did, but I was not facing it alone. Elena took me to the places she loved. A quiet coffee shop on a corner where they knew her name, a park bench under a tree that turned golden in autumn, a tiny movie theater that played old films. You missed a lot of good movies, she said. We have work to do. I watched her talk with the barista, laugh at bad jokes, frown at her phone, and I realized her life had not been easy either. She had her own wounds, her own abandoned dreams. But she kept showing up for mine. One evening, after a long day in court, we sat on her balcony, watching the sun slip behind the buildings. You know what the weirdest part is? I asked. What? She said, hugging her knees. I went to sleep thinking I would wake up alone. I told myself that was okay, that the work was enough. But now, I trailed off, afraid I was saying too much. She looked at me, waiting. Now I woke up and the first face I saw was yours, I said slowly. And somehow, that makes everything less frightening. The air between us changed, soft and electric. Daniel, she said, voice low, I've watched you learn a whole new world in months. I've watched you fight for your name, your ideas, your place. You're braver than you think. We held each other's gaze. The noise of the city faded. Can I ask you something? I said. Sure. If you had the chance to freeze your life for 30 years, would you do it? She smiled sadly. No, she said. I would have missed you. The words settled over us. Quiet and true, I reached out, almost without thinking, and took her hand. She did not pull away. Her fingers curled around mine, warm and steady, just like that first day in the warehouse. In that moment, I understood something important. Time had taken so much from me, but it had also given me this. A woman who had lived her own years, made her own choices, and still chose to sit here with me, in this exact present. Maybe I had not just survived the experiment. Maybe I had been brought forward to the one person who would make waking up worth it. Chapter 8. A New Beginning. The day the court recognized my rights, the sky was clear and sharp. The judge's words were technical, heavy with legal terms, but the meaning was simple. The cryogenic patents were valid. I was their rightful co-owner. The government's negligence was recorded. The technology could be revived under my control. Outside the courthouse, cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Mr. Hart, how does it feel to legally come back from the dead? Do you plan to make cryo-sleep available to the public? Are you angry about the years you lost? I could have talked about anger, about regret. Instead, I looked at Elena, standing beside me in the crowd. Her eyes met mine, full of pride. It feels, I said into the microphones, like I have been given a second chance. Not just at work, but at life. I want to use that chance carefully. In the months that followed, we worked with Keller and a small, honest team to restart the cryogenesis project. This time, No secret shutdowns, no buried capsules. Transparent, controlled, ethical. Walking through the new lab for the first time, I felt a strange peace. The machines were more advanced, the software sleek, but the heart of it was the same dream, to bend time in a way that could help people. Elena walked beside me, her ID badge hanging next to mine. She had joined the project as operations director. She kept the place running, caught details others missed, and never let anyone forget the human lives behind the metal and numbers. One evening, we stood alone by an empty capsule, its lid open. "Would you ever go in again?" she asked. I shook my head. "No. I've spent enough time asleep." "Good," she said softly. "I like you awake." I turned to her. "I used to think my life ended in 1995, I said. That everything important was behind me. But now," I reached for her hand again, the motion as natural as breathing. "Now I think my life started the day you opened this thing." Her eyes shone, and before I could say anything else, she stepped closer and kissed me. Tea was simple, gentle, but filled with all the moments we had shared. Confusion in a dusty warehouse, late-night research, laughter over coffee, quiet walks through a city that had become ours. When we pulled back, she rested her forehead against mine. "You know," she whispered, "some people wait a lifetime to find the right person. You just took a 30-year shortcut." We laughed, and inside that bright, humming lab, with the future spread out before us, we chose to walk into it together. A year later, in a small garden under a clear sky, we stood hand in hand in front of a few close friends and a nervous officiant. "Do you, Daniel, take Elena?" I did. So we walked away as husband and wife. I glanced back, imagining that somewhere, the younger version of me was watching. The man who had climbed into a capsule with nothing. I wanted to tell him, "You were not wrong to dream. You just did not know what you were really waiting for." Now I did, and why life was no longer measured in years lost, but in days shared. Coffee in the morning. Plans for the lab. Quiet talks at night. Elena's laughter echoing in our home. I had gone to sleep alone in 1995. I woke up, 30 years later, to a world I did not know, and to the love I had never dared to hope for. Chapter 9. Stay with us. If you have stayed with Daniel and Elena's story until now, thank you. Their journey from a forgotten capsule in the dark to a shared life in the light is just one of many tales we want to bring to you, full of emotion, mystery, science, and love that refuses to give up. Somewhere out there, someone feels as lost as Daniel did, or as stuck as Elena did in those warehouse aisles. Stories like this remind us that it is never too late for a second chance, never too late to wake up to something beautiful. Their experiment was about freezing time. Their love was about finally learning how to live inside it. And that, more than any machine, is the miracle worth holding on to. If you enjoyed this story, remember to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications so you do not miss the next tale, give a like to the video if it moved you, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and share this video with someone who believes in second chances and timeless love.